Week one of the legislative session is already over, and it's been a wild ride already. Usually this is kind of a get your feet under you, meet everybody, see what the plan is for this year kind of week. This year, everybody hit the ground running. We've already seen action on our top 3 legislative priorities this year, which are school choice, age verification, parental access to records. And we'll talk about those 3 today. So first of all, school choice. This is the idea that there should be flexibility in funding for whatever education style best suits the family and the child at hand. Fund students, not just systems. So the state has a way of figuring out exactly how much money they're going to send to X school as soon as that child enrolls. Or if they go to this other school, X amount of dollars follow them, but they're limited to just public schools. What if there's a better option for that family? What if they have different needs, different educational needs? That funding should be flexible. Now, how much of that money moves over? That's up for debate, which brings us to 1009 and 1020. Those are the 2 bill numbers for 2 pieces of legislation that have been dropped on school choice. 1009, we'll call it the shoot for the moon bill. 1020, call that the let's at least get it started bill. So 1009 provides what some are estimating maybe $180 million. Pretty big price tag. Let's go for it kind of thing. House Bill 1020 may be closer to $4 million. Let's at least get the program started. So a big dollar amount difference between the 2. And there's also a structure difference in how they're written, specifically related to the homeschool families. That's a lot of questions that people have right now, is how does this affect homeschoolers now and in the long run? And what's the best way to protect homeschooling for generations to come? The 2 bills answer those questions in different ways right now. 1009 says, let's create a separate legal category for the ESAs and not let homeschoolers apply. 1020 says, let's draw clear jurisdictional lines within the homeschool laws so that there's no crossover. 2 different ways to address the problem. 1009, 1020, both structures can be written to protect homeschoolers in the long run. Neither of those bills have hit committee yet, but there's been a lot of discussion and debate on them already on the floor. The second issue, age verification. Saw a committee hearing this week, came out 11-2, so strong momentum. Age verification is the idea that an explicit website, it's in their regular course of business to produce this stuff and host it. If that's your business, you should put an age gate up to try to keep kids off. That's what age verification says. If you're going to host this website, put in a system to try to keep kids off. It was up in front of the Supreme Court this week for oral arguments. The Texas law, there's 19 states now that have passed this. We could have been state number 9 last year, but that's water under the bridge. So it's up before the Supreme Court. A lot of the court watchers are saying, hey, it went really well for the cause. We won't know until this spring what the decision is, but a lot of momentum on age verification. We're out of the first committee, so now we need you to contact your representative, ask them to implement these systems, require that these websites implement these systems to try and protect kids. Then it'll move on to the Senate side, and we'll do a committee and Senate floor again. Third, parental access to records. A friend of ours recently found out that there's health systems in South Dakota that as soon as a child turns 12, the parents are locked out of their medical records online. Parents should have access to their kids' medical records. It's plain and simple. So this legislation would say you can't have that system automatically lock parents out. Now the kids can go in and sign a parental access waiver. If you're 12, you can go into the system and sign that, yes, I want to give access to my parents to get my medical records. But that's not what the default option should be. Loving parents shouldn't be locked out. So there's legislation being proposed. They were going to have a committee this week. It's pushed to next week to say your systems can't lock parents out as the default option. Just as soon as they turn 12, you're locking them out. So those are 3 priorities we've got for this year. Watch our legislative radar. There's going to be a bunch of other issues coming up. Stay tuned, familyvoiceaction.org.